Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. Our guest is Craig Northcott, and I emphasize it's Northcott, not Northcutt. And we're going to talk some about the court system and how that works, and we'll also down the road a ways get into the issue that's been going around that involves particularly the sheriff's office as well as the court system, and that is the number of inmates at the jail who are awaiting trial. So we'll talk about all that, and I thought, well, before we do that, Craig, let's welcome, by the way, and thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, thank you for having me. I always appreciate the opportunity to address the public. They need to know about me and know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Well, and I thought, your name crops up in the paper every now and then, but we really don't know a lot about you, and you've been in the office 4 years now. Remind the folks a little bit. Let's tell them a little bit about who Craig is.
Well, I'm first and foremost a Christian. I do my best to make decisions based upon what I believe the will of God is in all that I do. I'm a husband of my wife Becky of 21 years. I'm a father of 2 children, Katie, who's 15, and Sam, who's 13. I have lived in Tullahoma essentially my whole life. My parents moved here when I was about 5 years old and grew up going to Robert E. Lee East Middle School and ultimately graduated from Tullahoma High School. And,
very good.
Went away for college in Tennessee Tech, got a chemical engineering degree, and moved on to law school.
Chemical engineering?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I can tell that story. There's a story behind that, but yes, I have a chemical engineering degree, and then I moved on to law school at Indiana University in Indianapolis, and started at a prosecutor's office outside of Indianapolis, and then ultimately moved back here in 2000 and opened up a private practice here in Tullahoma in 2000.
Okay, and then elected to the court in
2014, yes. Yeah. I was had the honor and privilege of being entrusted with the duties of district attorney in 2014.
Okay, very good. Well, let's take a short commercial break, folks, and we'll get into business.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron, and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory, and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We're talking today, folks, with Craig Northcott, who is the district attorney for Coffee County and the court system here. And I thought it would be worthwhile to have a little civics lesson for starters. We're all, of course, aware that we have a court system. but we really don't pay that much attention to how it's working, except when we have a nice juicy trial of some sort. Then we're kind of heads up. So I thought I'd ask, as I say, have a little civics lesson and ask Craig to just sort of explain the overall court system to you. Craig?
Well, at the local level, we have 2 levels of courts. We have the general sessions level that, with the civil side, they have jurisdiction up to $25,000, so essentially a small claims court. On the criminal end, they have jurisdiction over misdemeanors, so any felonies, anything that would be punished by a year or more in jail or prison, they would not be able to handle those matters past what's called a preliminary hearing, which is a probable cause hearing. Well, then we have circuit and chancery courts.
Circuit and chancery together?
Together in Coffee County. Sometimes they're separated out. In many counties, they have a separate chancellor from the circuit judges. But in Coffee County, we have it combined, and they have jurisdiction over everything, both civil and criminal jurisdiction over all cases. And we have 4 judges. We have 2 sessions judges, Judge Jerry Ledsinger and Judge Tim Brock, and 2 circuit judges, Judge Vanessa Jackson and Judge Craig Johnson. And of course, my office deals with all 4 of them regularly. My office is responsible for the handling of all criminal matters in the 14th Judicial District, which is Coffee County. We have somewhere 10,000, give or take, criminal cases a year between all 4 courts, and my office is responsible for all of those.
10,000 a year.
And in addition to...
How many DAs have you got?
It's me plus 6, so there are 6 assistant district attorneys, so we have plenty of work to do. We stay busy. We have sessions court 3 times a week. That goes from 9 to around 3 o'clock 3 times a week, and we have circuit court every Wednesday, and then of course jury trials and those type of things are in addition to our normal court schedule. So you have with the circuit court, you have one day in particular, Wednesday, but then the trials are in addition to that. They're in addition to that. So the judges, Judge Jackson and Judge Johnson, alternate Wednesdays on their dockets, and then we can have trials starting essentially any day of the week at any point, depending on as needed.
Yeah.
And at sessions level, you're not entitled to a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you have to have it bound over to circuit court for a jury trial.
So for the minor offenses, you go into general session, but you're saying they have a right to demand a trial by jury if they want to, and that'll flip them over to the circuit court.
Yes, anything that is punishable by any amount of jail time or a fine greater than $50, the citizens of Tennessee are entitled to a jury trial if they would like.
Yeah. Okay, that's a little bit of an extra load. In addition to that, you have 2 or 3 special courts that operate within the same system.
We do. We have drug court, we have mental health court, and we have veterans court. And veterans court, time slips by on me, but I think it's been operating for about a year now.
Yeah.
So we're still working through exactly how all the mechanics and how best to utilize that, but it has been a great benefit to this community, I believe.
Yeah.
Judge Johnson presides over that court. Judge Brock presides over the mental health and drug courts. But yes, the intended purpose of those is to help those who have issues that are leading to the criminal problem, so that we can stop the pattern of repeat offenses, get the drug treatment, the mental health treatment, medical treatment, anything that is needed so that we can get them out of
those
the criminal
courts
system.
probably draw on additional resources around the county, or state.
They do. That is one of the big benefits, is those who help us operate those courts are very familiar with all the different assets and resources of the community, both local, state, and federal, and help the individuals in those programs to access those resources. And often it's just a matter of knowing how to get through all the red tape, and helping people do that often leads to good results.
Okay. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, it's kind of interesting. There really isn't anybody kind of responsible for the overall court system, overall justice system, is there?
Yes, I have been entrusted with the complete trust of the citizens of the 14th Judicial District of Coffee County to appropriately and fairly handle the criminal matters. And the way I am critiqued and my power kept in check is through the election cycle every 8 years, and also the grand jury process is a means to do that as well. But essentially, I have been entrusted with a lot of power, and that is incumbent upon the voters to make sure I'm not abusing that power and making sure I'm making decisions that they're happy with.
But you're using it.
And it works the same way with the judges.
Yeah. Well, of course, judges tend to be a little bit independent, don't they?
They do, and they need to be.
That's the nature of the job. Yeah.
That's the role, and really that's the role for a DA as well. We don't need to get wrapped up in the politics. It needs to be, I have one mandate, and that's why I love this job. My mandate is real simple. It's to do the right thing in every situation. It's simple in the aspect that it's easy to say. It's not always simple in some complex situations in figuring out what the right thing is to do. And
well, it's kind of interesting. Could you, right offhand, can you toss out an example for us on where you struggle with that?
We have a situation right now that happened actually right before I took office. It was a murder case, and we have not been able to charge anyone. There's been a lot of police work done by the TBI, by the Coffee County Sheriff's Department, and we think we know who the culprit is. And of course, my reaction is I want to charge that person, but we are not satisfied that we have enough proof that it would be fair to make that, to charge that offense.
Yeah.
And that is difficult.
You want to try to make sure you could prove it if you're going to charge it.
And there are also situations where you get a case, and happens a lot in drug cases, that no doubt that the crime's been committed, but usually just by a mistake, by a technicality in a search warrant or something like that, where we didn't do what we needed to do to properly follow all the constitutional mandates, I dismiss those because that's my duty. And I don't like it necessarily, but that's my duty. I have to protect the rights of the defendants just as much as I do the victims, and that can lead to some difficult discussions and difficult decisions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we need to take a short commercial break, folks, and we'll come back and go some more.
Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has proudly served your auto rental for over 30 years. Check out this huge selection to choose from. Small car, mid-size car, full-size car, crossover vehicle, SUV, minivan, pickup trucks, 12 and 15 passenger vans. Whether big or small, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has them all. Stop by our 2 locations to serve you, Tullahoma and in Winchester. And remember, my question is, why rent anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Craig Northcott, our district attorney, and we're trying to get brushed up a little bit on the court system and how it works and what they're doing these days. And I was just, during the break, discussing with Craig the fact that I took a look at the detailed cases in the Tullahoma News on Wednesday, and there were 36 listed in the General Sessions Court and 23 in the circuit. And so we were deciding whether that was kind of an average load for close to a week. And in the process, it was interesting the variety of things that were going on. A bunch of dismissals. The judge says, you haven't got a case yet, so he throws it out. There were a number that said that they were at, what was the term? At appearing, and then a bunch that were appearing that were scheduled, and some at trial. But it was kind of interesting. There were a lot of different things going. It's not a simple yay or nay. So, and as I say, I was kind of surprised at the number of, several cases that failed to appear. What do you do with those, by the way?
Well, there's a couple things. With the failure, of course, you get cited into court. If it's a misdemeanor, the law says that unless there's unusual circumstances, you're to be cited into court rather than arrested and required to make bond. So you get to court by three ways. One, we give you a ride because you're down at our jail and we drive you to court. Two, you get arrested, make bond, and then have to appear in court after making bond. Or three, you're decided into court and never going into our jail. If they fail to show up, the first thing that happens is if they're out on bond, we ask for their bond to be forfeited, and a CAPE is issued, which is a warrant for their arrest for not making it to court. It's also a crime to not appear in court. If it's a misdemeanor or greater, a misdemeanor or a felony that you don't appear on, it is an felony to fail to appear in court. So we will then get charges for new crime and failure to appear, and a warrant will
fail
issue
to appear is an additional crime.
It's an additional crime to whatever else they have been charged with and didn't appear in court. So there's.
And what is the crime? Is it a?
It's if it's a B or C misdemeanor, it's an A misdemeanor to fail to appear in court. If it's an A misdemeanor or greater that you were to be in court on, then it's an E felony. So it's punishable, depending on criminal record, from 1 to 6 years in prison for not showing up in court. So that is how we deal with that. And yes, the process is pretty complex. First appearance, you come, you get told what you're charged with. If you can't afford an attorney is appointed for you. And depending on what the charge is, then it dictates how it goes through the process from there. Most of the cases in Sessions Court are, of course, going to be misdemeanor cases, and a lot of driving on revokes, public intoxications, disorderly conducts, simple possession of drug paraphernalia, simple possession of drugs, shoplifting, theft under $1,000 is a misdemeanor. A lot of those type of charges that we'll deal with in Sessions Court. Driving on revokes, for example, we will give them time to get their license back. If they get their license back, we'll reduce it down to a ticket where they'll pay a small fine and court cost, and we'll dismiss the criminal charge. Other cases, they'll have 3 or 4 cases pending. We may work out a deal, and they plead to 1 or 2 of them, and we'll dismiss the others.
Okay.
And that type of thing will happen very routinely in court.
All right. We're getting close to running out of time. There's a particular problem I wanted to talk a little bit about, and that is that involves the jail system directly, and that is the number of inmates in jail that are awaiting trial. You mentioned you have some numbers. What's the current jail population? And
the jail population is down to about 320 to 350. We have a total, our main jail can handle, is designed for 400 inmates. There's also what we call the annex or the workhouse that can house an additional 35 inmates. That annex has been emptied, and there's no inmates in there currently. So at the maximum within the last 6 months, we were showing as many as 450 total inmates. We're down about 100 less than that now.
Okay.
Most of it is always going to be pretrial because that's the nature of a jail. When you get a long sentence, you go to the Department of Correction, and so the jail is always going to be primarily dealing with those awaiting trial.
Well, primarily, a lot of them are serving, but so how many at the moment are awaiting trial? Is not out of your 300 and some odd?
It's about 50%. And it averages around 50%. I think right now the number at the end of last month that I had was around 162 were pretrial inmates.
Yeah. Well, I understand. And that's of concern to the sheriff, because not only because of loading, but the expense that's involved in having someone in jail who's just there awaiting trial, and the information some of the information we've seen says that our percentage of people who are in jail waiting trial is kind of high compared with the rest of the countryside. The 17th district, for example, or statewide averages, those are down 17-18%, and we're up around 50. How come?
Well, I can't speak to other jurisdictions. I can say what we have done. We have done everything. The 4 years that I've been there, when I got in office, we were having a grand jury 5 times a year. I have implemented monthly grand jury to try to facilitate the quicker resolution of cases. When I got in office, we had preliminary hearings at the Sessions Court level on an average of 2 to 3 times a month. We're now having it 3 times a week. Also to help facilitate moving cases forward more quickly. I worked very hard at getting video court set up. It's now just 6 months to where we have it fully implemented. That seems to be help facilitating the moving forward of cases. And it's also the numbers. The data is good as the numbers that get put in, and every court system, every sheriff's department has a different way of doing that. So it's hard to really know if you're comparing apples to apples or not. In private practice, I went to a lot of different jurisdictions, and I haven't noticed that it's been significantly different from one to another. But we are making efforts to make sure that we're getting cases moved as efficiently as possible.
Are we making improvements? Is that
yes,
that number coming down?
It seems to be.
And there is a specific ongoing effort to try to bring that number down.
We are doing everything we can to make the court system as efficient as possible. My goal is not to empty the jail. My goal is to be fair and to be efficient. And if that means the jail is full, the jail's full.
Okay. Well, guess what, folks? We have run out of time, as we frequently do, so we're going to have to take a short commercial break and wrap up.
It's football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com, hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
We've been talking today, folks, with Craig Northcott, who is the district attorney for Coffee County for our court system. And we've been getting a little brush up on what the whole court system is about, and also a little bit of a specific look at the issue of the number of jail inmates who are awaiting trial, which is a bit of a challenge. So with that, Craig, have you got a word you'd like to put forth to the citizens?
Sure. First, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity and look forward to any other opportunities to do this. To those listening and watching, I truly appreciate and humbled by the responsibility and trust that you have placed in me, and encourage you to be proactive and keep an eye on the job that I'm doing, that the justice system is doing in general as a whole. And my door is open. Anytime you want to come talk to me, any questions you have about any subject, I'm happy to answer whatever questions those are. And I look forward to continuing to serve you and hopefully make this community safer and better.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much, Craig, for taking time to join us. We appreciate that. And thank you, folks, for inviting us into your parlor, and we will see you next time.